mini-guide is to Bridlington and Filey on the east coast and covers roughly this area. As well as Bridlington and Filey, it includes Bempton Cliffs, Flamborough Head and the Wolds. Bridlington is a very typical British seaside resort with shallow water and good beaches. South Beach has golden sand and stretches for 5 miles. North Beach is shorter and a mixture of sand and pebbles. Both beaches are kept clean with very little litter. The resort is in a wide bay and the sea is often calm and ideal for children. Near the town centre, there are wide promenades behind both beaches, ideal for a gentle stroll. For children, there's a small fun fair actually on the promenade. Bridlington also has its fair share of amusement arcades, cheap cafes and bingo halls. The harbour was once mainly a fishing port. Now many of the boats are concerned with tourism. It's still, though, a popular place to sample the local catch. Accommodation is plentiful, with many hotels and family-run guest houses. For holidaymakers self-catering, there are caravan sites and flats. This is the aviary at Sowerby Hall, about a mile north of Bridlington. The Georgian building stands in over 50 acres of grounds. A small fun train operates a regular service between the town's North Beach and the Hall. In the grounds, there's a small zoo. Feeding time always attracts a crowd, particularly round the penguins. And the donkeys are another firm favourite with the children. In the courtyard, there are often displays of traditional crafts, recalling skills of a bygone age. The hall and its well-maintained gardens are open daily throughout the summer. For less cultivated greenery, there's an interesting nature trail just beyond Sowerby Hall. It's called Danes Dyke, and the path winds through 1.25 miles of thick woodland, following in part a deep Iron Age ditch. Also in the Sowerby area is Portminion Village. There are over 200 miniature buildings spread over a 1-acre site. And everything has been handmade by the 2 people who own it. But the most popular excursion in Bridlington is on a boat. Every year, thousands of holidaymakers take one of the small steamers from the harbour to see the dramatic cliffs on the north coast of Bridlington Bay. The trips last up to a couple of hours, and most sail as far as Flamborough Head. The chalk cliffs in this area are well known to ornithologists. At Bempton, the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds has a cliff reserve. Here you can see gannets, razorbills, puffins and a host of other seabirds. These are the only mainland cliffs in Britain where gannets breed. In times past, the locals used to sell gannet and other birds' eggs. In one infamous season, they took about 130,000. But in 1954, egg collecting was banned by law. Today, this area represents an impressive example of nature conservation. This coastline also has many coves. Thornwick Bay is a good place for children to go exploring in the rock pools, but you must always be wary of the incoming tide. Further north is the fairly small and quiet resort of Filey. The Georgian-style houses are complemented by crescent gardens, a pleasant place to sit and enjoy the view. Filey has a long beach with fine golden sand, and the high sea wall can provide a good shelter on windy days. The sand stretches in all 5 miles, but Filey has no harbour. Tractors are used to pull the fishing boats in and out of the water. This is what identifies a true British seaside resort. Just south of Bridlington, you can visit John Bull's World of Rock and see rock being made. This white batch is for Scarborough, the yellow for Southport. Manufacturing techniques are traditional. They've changed little during the last 80 years, but then neither has the taste. To the west of the area are the Yorkshire Wolds, small villages, quiet roads and gently rolling countryside. It's a fine example of the attractiveness of English farmland, and from the patterns of the fields, it's easy to see why the Wolds have been described as Mother Nature's patchwork quilt.